The series follows the case of Stephen Avery and his nephew, Brendan Dassey, who were found guilty of the 2005 murder of Teresa Halbach, a 25-year-old photographer, in 2007. The two men, from Manitowoc County, Wisconsin, became notorious thanks to Making a Murderer, which left many viewers convinced they had been framed. Here's everything you need to know about the series and its protagonists. What happened in the first series? The 10-part series, which took Laura Ricciardi and Moira Demos 10 years to make, detailed the events leading up to Avery's imprisonment for the murder of Halbach. He was previously wrongfully convicted of sexual assault and attempted murder in 1985 and served 18 years before he was exonerated by DNA testing. He was in the process of suing local law enforcement when the new murder charge was brought in 2005. Halbach had visited Avery's scrapyard and his blood was found on the seats of her car after her death. However, his attorney discovered that a vial of his blood, held by police since the 1980s because of the previous rape conviction, had been tampered with. Avery's conviction also hinged on the testimony of Dassey, who told police he had helped his uncle kill Halbach. However, Dassey, whose IQ is very low and who was just 16 at the time of the killing, later said he had been coerced into making his confession. 1. Stephen Avery. Where is Stephen Avery now? In prison. Avery, now 61, is incarcerated for life in Wisconsin's Waupun Correctional Institution for first-degree murder. The father of four was granted a right to appeal his case after new evidence was uncovered in 2019. Holes were made in the previous claims made about Avery, with a forensic fire expert concluding that no human body was ever present in his burn pit. However, by August of that year, his request for a new trial was rejected. The defense lawyer thinks Avery was framed using blood from a cut on his finger that reopened in the days after Halbach disappeared, rather than from the police file. Avery has always said he had left blood on the bathroom sink of his trailer, but that it had gone the next day. 2. Brendan Dassey. Dassey was just 17 when he received his conviction alongside his uncle. He is still incarcerated in Oshkosh Correctional Institution. It will be 2048 before he will be eligible for parole, when he will be the same age that his uncle is now. The now 35-year-old's team pressed for a judicial review of the lower court's decision of his case back in 2018. It was removed from a meeting agenda one day and never put back. The review was never permitted after this. In late 2019, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers was asked to consider backing the plea to commute Dassey's sentence. Evers refused to do so. 3. Kathleen Zellner. After Buting and Strang, Kathleen Zellner took over Avery's case and his fight for freedom. She has worked on other high-profile cases before this one and regularly finds new evidence to prove his innocence. More recently, Zellner was working on Shan Fieldman's case, which saw the latter convicted of hiring a hitman to murder his wife. This case has been described as a cut-and-dried issue on the surface, as the alleged hitman was actually an undercover cop. During the trial, a lot of information that was vital to the context of the murder was not used, impacting the jury's decision. Zellner helped Fieldman to be allowed to legally dispute the validity of his detention. It is hoped she can do the same for Avery. In April of year 2021, she filed a motion calling on a judge to allow a new witness statement. This would connect Brendan's brother Bobby to Teresa Halbach's vehicle. 4. Dean Strang and Jerry Buting. The series was hugely beneficial to Avery's former lawyers, who became well-known public figures almost overnight. The pair were replaced after Avery's conviction, but are still supportive of him and his case. Buting published a book in 2017 called Illusion of Justice: Inside Making a Murderer and America's Broken System. This book was picked up by ABC, who wanted to make a series for TV about it. He also engages in public speaking and has teamed up with another famous lawyer, David Rudolph. As well as all of these public engagements, Buting still works as a lawyer on high-profile murder cases. Strang has also released a book called Keep the Wretches in Order: America's Biggest Mass Trial, The Rise of the Justice Department, and the Fall of the IWW. He lectures while still working in the legal field too. 5. Ken Katz. Every story needs a bad guy, and do they get one in Ken Katz? During Avery and Dassey's trial, Katz's treatment of them was highly criticized. Following the trial, many people abused him online and even sent him death threats. Aside from how he treated them, it was also revealed that Katz had sexually harassed a number of women and abused his position of power to do so. Since then, his career has sunk. He voluntarily resigned his law license for Wisconsin and now keeps a low profile. Will there be a third season? Filmmakers Ricciardi and Demos have not ruled out a part 3. Demos said she, Ricciardi, and Zellner are committed for the long haul. It's hard to imagine what a true end to a story with so many threads and so many people who have gone through so much would look like. We certainly have deep connections to many people in this story. For us, the questions of continuing past this part 2 will be the same questions that were there when we finished part 1. What is the story that's taking place at this point? Can we maintain or gain access to it, and does it offer something new? So we will continue asking those questions. Filmmaker Sean Reek is making an 8-part series looking at the case from the point of view of the police and prosecutors, saying the original show was one-sided. Reck is Convicting a Murderer is not affiliated with Netflix, says magazine site Joe. According to Film, Convicting a Murderer will have unprecedented access to figures seen in the Netflix series, including former District Attorney Ken Katz and lead investigator Tom Fassbender. Reck said, when Making a Murderer was produced, many on the law enforcement side of the story could not or would not participate in the series, which resulted in a one-sided analysis of the case. This docuseries will examine the case and the allegations of police wrongdoing from a broader perspective. It will also share with viewers the traumatic effects of being found guilty and vilified in the court of public opinion. We fight for the truth. We'll present all of the evidence in the Avery case from the perspective of both the prosecution and the defense, and see if viewers feel the same way they did 2 years ago following the first season of Making a Murderer. So that's it for today's episode. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this one. Thanks for watching.